Good morning, dear students. So, in the last video, we have seen up to the different application of the equilibrium constant. Now here, we will discuss about the factors affecting equilibrium. That is given by Le Chatelier. And so, the principle is given his name, Le Chatelier's principle. Now we know that chemical reaction starts and after reacting achieves the equilibrium state. But before equilibrium, if any disturbance takes place, reaction gets disturbed and will try to attain the equilibrium again. In the beginning of the chapter, I explained then when the trapeze artist, that means the one who is walking on the rope and doing the different types of tricks as a part of entertainment, he or she has to balance to walk on the rope, right? Even the gymnastic person has to balance on the beam to show the gymnasium beam balances. And what happens there? If they are at the edge of the completion of their beam balancing and suppose some disturbance, that means sudden if they feel the strong wind or sudden if they hear the sound or a large amount of the vehicle noise or the people making noise surrounding to them or besides of them, then they get disturbed and they may gives the imbalancing in their balance. And after that particular situation or condition, they will try to attain the equilibrium back to have a proper step balance on their beam and trapeze artery to balance on their rope. So, what does this mean to us? That if some disturbance comes, then the reaction also try to attain the equilibrium after overcoming the disturbance. So, if the reaction is taking place industrially, then the aim is to attain more yield. And if due to any disturbance or change, the product gets affected, to overcome such conditions, Le Chatelier explained that some factors which can change the reaction's direction to the extent where yield will be the most. So what was the Le Chatelier's idea? Le Chatelier's wanted to say that it's not in our hand if sudden some disturbance comes during the reaction take place. But the aim, the motto of our reaction is to yield a more product. And now if certain disturbance comes, if certain change comes, which is out of our control or which is not in our hand, then we have to think of those all uncertainty of the disturbance and accordingly we need to proceed or we need to run the reaction. So Le Chatelier wanted to say that if certain changes are there, then we need to find out that changes are due to what. And we can say that if the reaction is taking, then the reaction is under the effects of temperature, pressure, right? Even the reactants which are reacting, the state of the reactants, the gaseous combination, the concentration of the reaction. These are the different factors which are there, which can be one of the disturbance or which can be helpful in the yield. So Le Chatelier wanted to explain that with the effect of all these factors, how the production can be yielded in more amount, that is to be thing. And the idea which is given by him in all this regard is termed as Le Chatelier's principle, right? Which we are going to discuss now. Le Chatelier's principle. As per the Le Chatelier, the principle states that change in any of the factors that determine the equilibrium conditions of a system will cause the systems to change in such a manner so as to reduce or counteract the effect of the change. so that the equilibrium will shift in the direction of the product, that is forward direction. So what is this Le principle is stating to us that whatever the factors are there and which are determining the equilibrium conditions, and if in a system they cause some change, then that change should be in such a manner that they should reduce or counteract. Reduce, that means they should reduce the effect of that particular factor's change. And if not reduce, they should completely eliminate that change from the reaction, so that equilibrium directly will shift to the forward reaction, that is the shifting of the product yield. The Le-Chatellier's principle is applicable to all type of reactions for the physical equilibrium as well as chemical equilibrium. And he stated that these are the certain factors which are affecting equilibrium. The effect of concentration change, that means change in the concentration of reactant to the product, that is one of the factor which affects the equilibrium condition. Effect of pressure change, the next effect of inert gas, effect of temperature change, and effect of catalyst. So these are the 5 factors which affects the equilibrium conditions. So as per the pandemic year's government guideline, we are in need to discuss effect of concentration change, pressure change, and temperature change. Inert gas and catalyst will not be considered for this year, that is pandemic year's syllabus. So in the next videos we will see the effect of all these factors in individually how they are affecting, right? And here with this one more numerical I have solved. Question 14, as I told yesterday, you try to solve from 14 to 20, whichever is possible and whichever is based on the topics we have finished. If 1 mole of H2O and 1 mole of carbon monoxide are taken in a 10-liter vessel and heated to 725 Kelvin at equilibrium point, 40% of water by mass reacts with carbon monoxide according to equation. Reactant is H2O plus CO gives H2 plus CO2. We are in need to calculate equilibrium constant for the reaction. So now first of all we will find out, as per the given question, number of moles of water H2O is 1 mole, already given originally, and it is also told that 40% of water by mass is reacting. That means we can say that percentage of reacted water is 40%. Therefore, what is the number of moles of water reacted? So 40%, it means at 100, right? So at 100 if 40, then what about at according to 1 mole? So 1 into 40 divided by 100 will give 0.4 mole water is reacted. Then originally it was 1 mole. How many moles are left? So number of moles of water left is 1 minus 0.4. It will give 0.6 mole water is left. Now, as per the steps which we have discussed in calculation of equilibrium concentration, the very first step is to write the balanced equation, and let us check here. H2O plus CO gives H2 plus CO2. Here on reactant H2, on product H2, reactant 1 carbon, product 1 carbon, reactant 2 oxygen, 1 with H2O, 1 with CO, and in product CO2, so O2. Equation is balanced. Now we will write down initial concentration, that is mole per liter. It is 1 mole per 10 liter. So 1 upon 10, both water as well as carbon monoxide. And as I told earlier that at equilibrium, before attaining the equilibrium, the initial concentration of product will be 0, because yet the reaction has started and not produced the product. And equilibrium concentration, that will be the yield of the product, that is 0.4, which is water molecules already used up. So the used up, that means which is reacting, and after reacting it has attained the equilibrium. So it is 0.4 by 10, 0.4 by 10 for both the product. And what is the left at the reactant side? Then it is 1 minus 0.4 by 10 will give 0.6 by 10 for both the reactants. Now, as per the law of chemical equilibrium, the equilibrium concentration constant Kc is equal to multiplication of product upon multiplication of reactant. H2 gaseous form multiplied by CO2 gaseous upon H2O gaseous into CO gaseous. And now we have the concentration, that is 0.4 by 10 into 0.4 by 10 upon 0.6 by 10 upon into 0.6 by 10. And it calculates 0.16 upon 0.36, that is 0.44 is the equilibrium constant at concentration. Right? You also once check it with the help of your calculator and check whether the answer or the points, numbers which are written over here is same or is there any correction, right? And the individual concentration of different factors we will discuss in the next video. By the time, thank you.